The gym smelled of chalk and sweat, a familiar cocktail that Lila usually thrived on. Today, though, it clung to her like a second skin she couldn't shed. She stood at the edge of the beam, her toes curling against the mat, staring at the narrow strip of wood that had betrayed her all morning. A back walkover. 100 times she'd nailed it in practice, her body bending like a reed in the wind, graceful and sure. Now, with sectionals looming tomorrow, her legs trembled, and her mind replayed every stumble. "Lila, honey, you're doing great," her father, Mark, called from the bleachers, his voice a warm anchor in the storm of her thoughts. He leaned forward, elbows on his knees, his graying hair catching the fluorescent light. "It's just nerves. No big deal." She didn't look at him. Her eyes stayed on the beam, her breath shallow. "I don't get it," she muttered, more to herself than to him. "I've done this a million times. Why now?" Mark stood, crossing the gym floor with that steady gait she'd always known. "Look, we've got a big day tomorrow. You're going to crush it on bars and floor. Those are your strengths. Don't stress the beam too hard." Lila nodded, but her chest tightened. She wasn't just chasing points. She was chasing a promise to her mother Sophie, who'd once soared on these same apparatuses, her medals gleaming in the living room like stars. Sophie had been her idol, her coach, her everything, until cancer stole her away too fast, leaving Lila with a vow whispered in a hospital room. "I'll win for you, Mom." The whispers started then, soft but sharp, from the cluster of girls stretching nearby. Haley, all sharp elbows and sharper tongue, smirked at her friend Roxy. "People say she's going to take first. I bet she won't even medal." "Yeah," Roxy chimed in, loud enough for Lila to hear. "She's never going to be as good as Sophie. Doesn't even deserve the name Thompson." Lila's hands clenched into fists. She wanted to snap back to prove them wrong, but her throat locked up. Instead, she turned to the beam and mounted it again, her coach Tara watching from the sidelines with a clipboard in hand. "Focus, Lila," Tara said, her voice calm but firm. "You're too much in your head. Picture yourself landing it. See it in your mind first. That's how you get past the block." Lila tried. She closed her eyes, imagining the flip, the smooth arc of her body, the solid landing. But when she moved, her foot slipped, and she crashed to the mat, the impact jarring her knees. The gym went quiet, then Haley's laugh cut through the silence like a blade. "See, told you," Haley said, tossing her ponytail. "Next, Sophie, my foot." Mark was on his feet in an instant, his face darkening. "Hey, that's enough. I'm going over there." "No, Dad, please," Lila hissed, scrambling up. "You'll just make it worse." He stopped, hands raised, but his eyes burned. "They don't get to talk to you like that." "I'm used to it," she said, brushing chalk off her leotard. "Haley and Roxy are annoying, but I can handle them." She didn't feel like she could, though. Not today. She grabbed her water bottle and stalked toward the bars, her sanctuary. "I need to practice bars. Then we can go." Tara followed, her sneakers silent on the mats. "You've got the physical part down, Lila. You've been training for this forever. What's throwing you off is up here." She tapped her temple. "You're carrying a lot. Your mom, the expectations. It's messing with your balance." Lila gripped the bar, chalk puffing around her hands. "I miss her," she admitted, her voice small. "I promised I'd win. What if I can't?" Mark stepped closer, his hand hovering near her shoulder but not touching. "You're not letting her down. Sophie just wanted you to try your best. You're at sectionals. How many kids can say that?" "I know," Lila said, swinging up to a kip. "But I can't even land a back walkover the day before the meet. I feel like a failure." "Don't say that," Mark said sharply. "If Sophie were here, she'd tell you, Lila, the lie way you fail is if you stop trying. So keep going, Butterfly." She winced at the nickname. "Don't call me that. It feels weird from you." He chuckled, a little sad. "Okay, kiddo, let's call it a day after bars. Big day tomorrow." "No more kiddo either," she said, dismounting with a thud. "I'm not a baby." Tara smiled faintly. "She's a fighter, Mark. She gets that from Sophie. Physically, she's ready. Mentally, though, that's the battle." Mark nodded, watching Lila swing again. "She's had a rough year. Most would have cracked under what you've carried. I just wish I knew how to help her more." Tara hesitated, then spoke. "If it's not overstepping, what happened with Sophie? I read bits in the papers, but—" "It's fine," Mark said, his voice softening. "You're her coach, you should know." It was fast. Sophie went from Olympic hopeful gone in weeks. Cancer spread like wildfire. Lila worshipped her, always trying to impress her, even as a kid. He paused, lost in memory. Lila, 6 years old, tumbling in the backyard, Sophie clapping. How's it feel to win, Mommy? Lila had asked, slipping on Sophie's medal. Pretty good, Sophie had laughed. But this moment with you, that's better. Work hard and anything's possible, Butterfly. Lila had beamed, promising to be just like her. Now that promise felt like a weight she couldn't lift. The arena buzzed with energy, a sea of leotards and nerves. Lila stood in line, her heart thudding against her ribs. The beam loomed ahead, taunting her. She'd warmed up fine, bars had felt solid, but the back walkover still haunted her dreams. Mark squeezed her shoulder. You've got this. Bars and floor are next, you're golden there. She nodded, tugging at her ponytail. The announcer called her name and she stepped forward, chalk dusting her palms. The crowd blurred into a hum as she mounted the beam. Her routine started strong, leaps, turns, but then came the back walkover. She hesitated, her breath catching, and her foot wobbled. She landed, but it was messy, a stumble that cost her points. 8.8, the judge called. Not terrible, but not enough. Haley, watching from the sidelines, smirked. No way she's coming back from that. Mark leaned in as Lila stepped off. Still great. Bars are your shot, 9-5 to medal, 9-3 to tie Haley for overall. Lila wiped her hands on her thighs. I just hope I don't fall again. Don't think about falling, Tara said, stepping up. Think about the times you nailed it. See it in your head. Every swing, every grip. That's how you push through. She nodded, moving to the bars. The cool metal steadied her, and she launched into her routine. Kips, giants, a clean dismount. The crowd clapped, and the score flashed, 9.4. She exhaled, a grin breaking through. See? Mark said, beaming. Told you. But Haley wasn't done. As Lila passed, she muttered, What, trying to be Sophie now? Cute. Mark bristled. That's it, I'm saying something. Dad, stop, Lila snapped, grabbing his arm. You're always babying me. I don't even want to do this anymore. She stormed off, finding a quiet corner near the mats. Mark followed, slower this time. Lila, talk to me. Just leave me alone, she said, sinking to the floor. I'm done. I quit. No way, he said, crouching beside her. You don't mean that? I do. Go tell them I'm out. He shook his head. Not happening, but I've got an idea. Minutes later, Jenna, a regional champ Lila idolized from YouTube, appeared. Blonde braid, bright smile. Mark had tracked her down in the crowd. Hey, Lila jetted, sitting cross-legged. Your dad said you're having a rough day. What's up? I'm bombing, Lila said, voice cracking. I can't land anything. I feel like a failure. Jenna tilted her head. You know I bombed a meet last year. Got so nervous I forgot my whole routine. Even champs get shaky. It's normal. Doesn't make you a failure. Really? Lila asked, wiping her eyes. Yup. Even the best, like that Olympic queen, still get butterflies. Your mom used to say something smart, right? Yeah, Lila said softly. She'd say the only way you fail is if you stop trying. Smart lady, Jenna said. You're not done yet. What's next? Beam again, Lila said. Back walkover's killing me. Tara joined them. If it's not safe, skip it. But if you're going, focus on your breath. Slow it down, feel it in your chest. That's how you steady yourself. Lila stood, resolve hardening. I'm going. Haley got a 9.05. I need a 9.5 to win overall. Don't let her get in your head, Jenna said. You've got this. The beam gleamed under the lights, a challenge Lila couldn't dodge. She mounted, her routine flowing, leaps, spins, until the back walkover loomed. She paused, breathing slow, feeling her chest rise and fall, picturing Sophie's smile. Then she moved, flipping backward, her feet finding the beam with a soft thud. Perfect. The crowd erupted, and the score flashed, 9.5. Mark whooped, and Tara grinned. That's my girl. Haley scowled, but Lila didn't care. She'd done it. For herself, for Sophie. On the podium, silver medal around her neck, she felt lighter than she had in months. Later at their old haunt, a bench outside the arena, Mark handed her a soda. This was Sophie's spot after meets. She'd be proud, Butterfly. Lila smiled, not flinching at the name. I wanted gold, but yeah, she'd be okay with this. She's always with you, Mark said, pointing skyward as a butterfly fluttered past. See? Lila laughed, a real laugh, and slipped on her medal. You can call me Butterfly, or Kiddo. Just don't overdo it. I'll try, he said, grinning. You're tougher than me, you know. Most would have cracked under what you've carried. Maybe, she said, sipping her soda. But I've learned you don't let one mistake define you. I'm not stopping now. They sat in silence, the butterfly dancing in the air, a quiet promise kept.